Hi, this is Martin Drummond with Progressive News. It's Sunday, June 16th, 2019.
You mentioned a little bit about endorsements. I know that AOC has said that she's obviously, she seems to like Bernie quite a bit, and she's impressed with Elizabeth Warren, who in the most recent polls has been going up in Iowa. Has she said anything else about like any other candidates that might be standing out to her? Has she given you any indication that she's a part of the Yang gang or anything like that?
No, but she did say in the interview that Medicare for All, Green New Deal, College for All, that's pretty much her litmus test. Now, we have one of those two candidates who's equivocating on Medicare for All, and that's Elizabeth Warren. To me, I think it's incredibly clear who the two most progressive candidates are. I know people like to throw Tulsi Gabbard out there, but when you look at her record, it's a lot more of a mixed bag, and I think the online Tulsi gang, that's what you said, Yang gang, it came to me, would like to admit. One, Elizabeth.
Okay, so Elizabeth Warren isn't any more progressive than Tulsi. They're both they both have their like weaknesses, different kinds of weaknesses, and as this girl just pointed out, Elizabeth Warren is at this late date endorsing Medicare for All. I mean, come on, man. She's a housewife from Oklahoma City who used to flip houses for a living, and then got ambitious and went to some Ivy League piece of crap school. And who knows why she decided to get into consumer protection. That's all that she knew about for years. She did not endorse Bernie, more or less endorsing Hillary, causing her to win several races that she should have lost anyway, except for there was a lot of cheating going on. I remember the coin flip thing. I mean, come on, man. And the overwhelming piece of information about the 2016 campaign is that millions of independents were not allowed to vote in the progressive primaries because they weren't registered Democrats. And we all know who they would have voted for. They're all disaffected Democrats. They're all people who left the Democratic Party because they were tired of this Democratic Leadership Council, this conservative takeover of the Democratic Party that they watched and they couldn't do anything about. How frustrating, right? I stayed in the party, That doesn't mean I backed. After 2008, I was just like, fuck. Well, no, 2012. He was out by the time I realized what a piece of shit President Obama was. He was supposedly the first black president, and then he was allowing the police in the United States to gun down black people. Just amazing. I was just like, holy fuck, Obama, you don't step into this. You don't step in. You don't weigh in. Come in, hip deep, waist deep into this, kicking ass and taking names. I would. And I'm white. Well, he's white too. His mother's whiter than I am. I think she's from Kentucky. God. So anyway,
Warren's biggest issue right now in her campaign, I know she's had a history of voting for the military budgets, etc., but
yeah, she's had a history. You know who she reminds me of? Remember this picture? You saw it when you were coming into the segment. She reminds me of this fucking God piece of shit. What a hypocrite, right? I think this was wife swap night at Mar-a-Lago. Huh? And I think Bill got the better end of the deal. I think Trump got the bigger end. Yeah, definitely the bigger end. Oh, we're all so rich and fabulous, and we're all having such a good time. Oh, makes you wanna fucking puke, doesn't it? So yeah, Warren, you know, she reminds me of Hillary. Hillary with a $sign at the beginning of the name instead of an S. Absolutely, she reminds me of Hillary. Look, there is no replacement for Bernie. You know, he's the one who started all this. All these other idiots nobody even know who they were right now. Oh, look, here comes another lefty something or other trying to run for president. Who cares, right? No, all of a sudden it matters because of Bernie. And, you know, I don't think Bernie's our best choice. I know everybody screams and yells that Ocasio is not old enough. What the fuck is that about? Let's change that law right now. You know? If you're over 14, if you've got pubes... Oh, I got pubes, Commander-in-Chief. I got pubes. If you got pubes, you should be able to run for president, you know? Enough of this, you have to be 18. It's like, you know, what do you call it? Nature? Nature told me I'm a man. Nature told me I'm a woman. You know, when I grew pubes, when I began to get breasts. But conservative America's gonna tell me when I'm an adult. You know what? If I were 15 right now, I'd be going fucking nuts. Tell me I'm not an adult. I remember when I was 15 and I was doing just exactly that. I was like, you know, fuck all these conservatives, fuck the establishment, fuck the status quo, these people who think I'm not an adult. When in reality, from what I was seeing, I was more adult than 90% of the quote adults out there. Alright, this is Martin Drummond with Progressive News. Hope you enjoyed my segment.